Welcome back to the Lost in Stupidity podcast. I'm your host, Turn to the Burner. We are podcasting and broadcasting. We're like Jackson Brown, though. We're running on empty. With me today, I've got Chris the Boz Bozeman. How are you, sir?
All right, man. Just happy to be here, per usual.
I got Will the Hillbilly Hired. Are you hanging in over there?
Oh, yeah. Howdy, y'all. How's your mom and them?
And we also have Bailey Joe Hickman in studio, who may or may not be a biologist. But anyway,
I forgot my really short khaki pants and my hiking boots and my funny hat.
Because stolen nature.
Yeah, if you're gonna be a you're gonna be a biologist, that is your required.
That's the uniform. That's the day to day.
As my my professor, who had a PhD in ichthyology, said,
I'm sorry, what?
Is that a thing?
Yeah, ichthyology. It's the study of fish.
Oh.
And
icky.
He got his dissertation looking at blemmings, which is a small fish on oil rigs, of all things, and how they would change depending on the depth of where they would make their nest. Yeah, I know. It's so interesting.
Sorry,
but
Hayden.
He did say, do you know what they say about scatologists? They know their poop.
Oh, good gracious. That was a long way home, brother.
There's your dad joke for the day.
That was a long way around the horn. We went all the way around, went downtown, took a back road. Golly. Well, guys, once again, we have y'all's favorite thing to do on this podcast. We got a creepy story. We know y'all love urban legends and cryptids, so we'll probably, again, we don't want to dive in and be a paranormal podcast by any stretch, but we do enjoy strange stories and strange encounters. Will, you look lost. What's going on over there?
Which one of y'all took my phone? Where is it at?
Would you like me to call it?
Is it in your fanny pack?
It's in my pocket.
Oh, dear goodness.
All right, we're good.
Do you see the qualifications we have to be on a podcast called Lost in Stupidity?
That's right.
The qualifications?
The qualifications.
Good gracious. You can't do nothing. So today, we've got I don't know what to do with this one. But as always, we've got a strange story, and we're going to approach it from a little bit different angle. And I wanted to do this one particular because we actually have a tie to the show of a first-hand account. It's actually Bailey's uncle.
Yep.
I want to see
one more time. I'm sorry. Oh, dear goodness. Can you put this podcast on pause? I'm sorry, Chris.
That's all right.
And we're back. Sorry about that. I had to tend to a family emergency, a plumbing emergency. Such is life. But anyway, we're going to dive into the story of the Mothman. And this is a weird one. I have a theory, but Bailey's going to share with us a first-hand testimony that's actually your uncle, right?
Correct.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Who better to talk about the Mothman than the Hickman?
There you go.
see, there you go.
Man of Hick.
Man of Hick.
That's right. I am aptly named. My people come from Arkansas and from Kentucky. So we are all Hicks.
So, to give you, I guess I'm going to go through well, let me just start with this. So, the story begins. This goes back to a place called Point Pleasant, West Virginia, all the way back in the year 1774. Now, I want to include this because it's part of the folklore, it's part of the story. With our beliefs, I don't know that this is really related, but it's worth mentioning. Let's continue. So, during the late 1700s, as colonists, or I guess it would have been colonists, settlers, are moving into the area, and they begin encroaching on Native American land, and skirmishes break out. And so a couple of tribes, particularly the Mingo and the Shawnee, end up in this great battle in actually October 10th, 1774. Chief Cornstalk, not John Redcorn.
That sounds derogatory.
It does.
Not you say that?
John Redcorn.
Is that your truck?
Get in there and massage my wife.
My name is Rusty Shackleford.
Oh,
I derailed quickly.
already. There's your all the King of the Hill references. That's my purse. I don't know you.
That boy ain't right.
God dang it, Bobby.
I don't know what a JPEG is. I just want a picture of a god dang hot dog.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry. Anyway,
Back on track, boys.
an actual Shawnee, I believe, Chief
Yes.
Chief Cornstalk did battle with Andrew Lewis, who was leading the settler militia. And they were just overwhelmed with numbers, the Native American tribes, that is. So they ended up having to surrender and sign a treaty. So this rocks on until 1777. Chief Cornstalk travels to Fort Randolph, which was built on the site of this battle. And he's going to talk to Captain Matthew
Matthew Quigley.
No, I wrote the name down. Matthew Arbuckle. Sorry.
Sorry.
I wrote the name down wrong.
Your buckle or
Yeah,
our buckle?
Exactly. So Chief Cornstalk goes to the fort and talks to Will can't even keep a straight face. I'll just say the Shawnee chief goes to see Captain Matthew Arbuckle and to say that the white men are breaking their treaty. They're whatever they're doing, encroaching on land, doing nefarious things, and he approaches him.
Like that scene in Pocahontas. These white men are dangerous.
Yeah, hey, don't.
Can you paint with all the colors of the
We can say that because Disney did it. But don't get ahead of me. There's a certain you're not wrong. So what happens is he talks to Captain Arbuckle, and they throw the chief and his son in the barracks there. They imprison him, and there was 2 other Native Americans already there. So he's thinking
Threw him in the brig.
The
soldiers are sleeping in the barracks. So hey, buddy, you want to spend the night with us? No, they arrested him, Turner. He's in the brig.
I'm sorry. I tried to be smart, and I don't know anything about military bases. I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me on that, because somebody in the comments would have.
Oh, Lord, the comments.
Will loves the comment section.
I get
It's his
off
battleground.
The comment section. I do. That's
They
elbow deep.
They locked him up. Good gracious.
You put that back in front of your face. That's good mic etiquette.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to make y'all go outside while I read this. So anyway, they imprison the chief and his son, along with 2 other Native Americans who are already imprisoned in the brig. Would not be the barracks, I'm sorry. And he's thinking that as long as he has them prisoner, that the other tribes, the other Native Americans, will not storm the fort and attack. He's using him as a bargaining chip. So this rocks on a few days, and we don't know why or what happened, but there was a settler killed nearby. We don't know why, who, man, woman, child, we don't know. But this sparks outrage at the fort, and they basically shove Captain Arbuckle to the side or lock him in his room, whatever. And they storm the cell, and they execute the 4 prisoners. They kill the chief's son, and there's conflicting reports, but some accounts say they end up shooting and or stabbing Chief Cornstalk 6 or 7 times, and before he finally dies, he goes down with a fight. And before his dying words were, and I quote, "I came to the fort as your friend, and you murdered me. You have murdered by my side my young son. For this, may the curse of the Great Spirit rest upon this land. May it be blighted by nature. May it even be blighted in its hopes. May the strength of his peoples be paralyzed by the stain of our bloods."
Ooh. Not good.
Not good. So the chief allegedly, again, depending on what you believe in such things, his dying breath is a curse upon the land. Well, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, has for years and years to come, has its own share of natural disasters and a bit of misfortune. But things really don't get strange until the 1960s. So, for those who don't know, during that time, there was a structure known as the Silver Bridge, and it was a massive. Imagine how the Golden Gate Bridge
A
looked.
suspension bridge.
Thank you. That's the word I'm looking for. Top of the class today, William. It's a suspension bridge,
Teacher's pet.
and you
You forgot to take up our homework.
and so
Shut up, man.
we'll make y'all go outside. Don't play no games now. So the Silver Bridge connects Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to nearby Ohio. It was an engineering marvel at the time. So let's go back. Like Ron White, I told you that story. I'll tell you this story. So starting in November 1966, a series of strange events begins to happen at Point Pleasant. And watch out. Remember what we've said before. Strange lights in the sky. Unexplicable lights. Some would call them orbs.
Strange things.
Yeah. UFO sightings. And this is, I don't know what to do with this one. There is so much in this. I don't want to get off in the weeds. There's so much into what I'm about to say. Let us know in the comments. We may have to do a whole nother episode on this. Starting in November 1966, a man named Woodrow Derenberger is driving near Point Pleasant in the woods. And he claims to see a craft, a UFO. The said craft lands in the road in front of his car, and what looks like a man, a normal-looking man, wearing a trench coat and sporting a large grin, gets out of the craft and approaches him and introduces himself as Ingrid Cole.
That's a weird name.
So he is Ingrid Cole, and he claimed to be from another planet. On this same night, two other men are driving, and a craft lands, and a person matching Ingrid Cole's description gets out and asks them a few questions, gets in his craft, and leaves. In the town next to it, on the same night, a woman claims to see a cylinder-shaped craft that then landed, and two men get out, one of which matched the description of Ingrid Cole. I want to include that because it allegedly happened. It's just weird. I don't believe in aliens. But there's so much to the Ingrid Cole story. That's a whole nother podcast.
Gosh.
Moving on. During the same time, I guess it would have been right before that happened. On November 1st, 1966, I believe it was like a guard at a military base claimed to have seen, this is where the Mothman starts. He claimed to have seen a giant bat-like flying creature flying around where he was stationed. A few days later, 3 or 4, depending on where you read, 3 or 4 grave diggers, they were out there working at a cemetery. They were actually digging a grave. 3 or 4 grave diggers see a bat-like creature with some 10 or 12 foot wingspan flying around the cemetery.
Nay.
It gets worse. This is the most famous encounter. So Roger and Linda Scarberry are going to go pick up their friends, Steve and Mary Millette. And they're going to go, picture Andy Griffith. Andy and Barney and Thelma Lou and Helen, they're going to go out for a nice drive and just hang out, right? They're going to go for a country drive. So this couple picks up their friend and they go for a drive in the country near Point Pleasant. As they drive, they approach what appears to be a tall, muscular man standing in the middle of the road. And as the car approaches it, they slam on brakes, and some members of the party remember him having glowing red eyes. What they think at first is a person is not a person. It kind of has the shape of a person, but it has two large wings on its back, folded up. It begins running off into the woods, and they kind of freak out and drive off. And they're like, what is that? So as they're driving down the road, they then see out the windows, like a bird of prey or a bat over a pond, this creature with a 12-foot wingspan and glowing red eyes is swooping down around the car and around them as they're driving down the road. And they drive down the road 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour. Who knows how fast they're driving? They claim at one point they reached 100 miles an hour. And this thing is behind them. They finally pull away from it. And as they approach the lights of town, it bails off. So they don't think anyone's going to believe them. They know, like, they are going to think we are nuts. But they want to do their due diligence, and they go straight to the police station. And they say, hey, this is what we saw. We know it sounds crazy. Well, as it turns out, as the days would go on, more and more people would claim to see this. And the numbers get kind of scrambled because later on an author would write a book called The Mothman Prophecies. And it was loosely based on some of the things there, but he put a lot of fiction. It's a fictional novel. And when that came out, suddenly people were like, oh yeah, well this happened to me. That it muddied the water.
Yeah.
There's what I just told you are the only factual accounts that we have of them claiming to see something. A lot of the other ones they came after the book conveniently. So contribute that to mass hysteria. I heard this story. Well, let me tell you what happened to me. Now, here's where it gets bad. Going back to the land being cursed or whatever. Up until this point, this weird entity has terrorized a bunch of people and flew around and scared them and shrieked at them with this horrible noise, but it hasn't hurt anybody. 13 months later, December 1967, the bridge is packed, people probably out Christmas shopping. And let me back up. 2 days before, people were photographing the bridge, and clearly, and I'm gonna do a short of this episode, and I'll put those photographs up on for those on YouTube to see. There's 2 photographs taken, and the first one is looking at the side of the Silver Bridge, and it clearly looks like a giant bat hanging off the side of the bridge. The next frame is it coming off and swooping down. This was taken 2 days before what I'm about to say. In December 1967, the Silver Bridge collapsed full of cars. Before it was over with, 44 people, men, women, and children, their bodies were pulled from the river. 2 more were never found. This is the creepy part. 2 days before the bridge collapsed, we have photographs of whatever this is, and then we have this tragedy. This would happen again. Look at my handy-dandy notebook, like Blue's Clues.
This is a really scary Blue's Clues episode.
I know.
When is the mail call?
Yeah,
That's
I had a
my
break.
favorite part.
In 1970, in Freiburg, Germany, some men working a mine would claim to see what they dubbed the Freiburg Shrieker, which matches the same dark, man-like, gray, leathery man, bat, whatever, matches the same description as Mothman, and they saw it, and it terrified them, and a day or so later, that mine actually collapsed. In 1985, workers at the Chernobyl nuclear facility claimed to see what they called the blackbird from Chernobyl, flying and circling the power plant days before we had the catastrophe on 3 Mile Isle, the Chernobyl meltdown. There are pictures near the Twin Towers days before 9/11 of what looks like a dark, large, whatever flying near the Twin Towers right before it collapsed. In August 2007, in Minneapolis, after a month of reported Mothman sightings, the bridge collapsed. The latest, and I'll put this video up on the screen on the short. You can YouTube it. Now, nothing bad has happened. That's been 10 or 12 years ago now. But there was a string of first-hand accounts from the Chicago O'Hare Airport of what sounded like Mothman. There was pilots. There were security guards. There were people that just worked the airport. There was dozens of accounts, including one lady claiming to come out to the parking garage and it's standing there before it opened its wings and flew out of the parking garage. Now, I will put this on the screen in the short. There is a video of something flying above Chicago O'Hare Airport. And the pictures, and I for those of you who are classic rock fans, to me, the name that stuck was Mothman for some reason. That's what the original reporters ran with. To me, the pictures and then this video that's seen over Chicago O'Hare Airport, if you remember Meatloaf, the rock singer,
Bat out of hell.
It looks like the bat out of hell. That's what it looks like to me. It doesn't look like a Mothman. It looks like a giant bat.
Look up the album cover for Bat Out of Hell from Meatloaf. And
That's
the video looks scarily like that.
yes. So this is one of those things.
And I would do anything for love.
That is off of Bat Out of Hell too. Thank you.
Both are great.
Meatloaf's comeback. So this is one of those things. Again, we're Christians here. I don't put a lot of stock in people cursing the land, but there's a history of bloodiness and wrongdoing in this land, and we have physical pictures of something strange, and it always other than Chicago, it always coincides with some disaster.
I mean, you could argue there's a lot of disasters going on in Chicago. A pretty good bit.
Yeah. He's probably there full time. He's probably employed by the state.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a retired rock star going to Vegas, man.
Yeah, I mean, golly.
He's just playing the strip.
Bad omen, what do you mean? This is just another day in paradise in Chicago, right?
Thursday through
Oh,
Sunday,
no.
7
Look,
to midnight.
it's the Mothman.
Oh my goodness! You may have a valid point there. But that being said,
Chicago might get better if you leave.
Yeah, I was about to say.
so I don't know. I have some theories here as always, but before we get into the theories,
We're going to need a really big bug zapper, boys.
yeah, really, Bailey, it seems that your uncle had a encounter of what has been referred to as the Mothman. Would you like to? Let me do my West camera. Hang on. If you would, just walk us into what happened.
Sure. So this is secondhand information. This is from my uncle. Like I said,
Is he a known drug user?
he is not. He is very
Got that out of the way.
He is very straight edge, and I'll say he's one of my favorite people in this world. I love him to death. Just a upstanding man. He has a really good guy, and he's a very scientific man. He maybe even to a fault. He does not put stock in anything that he can't prove with science. Again, I love him to death. He's one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. The one thing, if you ask him, that he says that he has seen that is supernatural is Mothman. And his account comes from just outside of the Bowling Green, Kentucky area. So if you're unfamiliar with that, that's about 45 to an hour north of Nashville, Tennessee. Very poor area, very rural area outside of Bowling Green. Wonderful people there, beautiful people, beautiful country, a little hilly, a little mountainous, but just a beautiful part of the country. Kind of on the edge of Appalachia, all that. So he said he was in, and I just talked to him about this to refresh my memory. He said that he was in the 2nd or 3rd grade. So again, talking 8, 9, somewhere in that area. He was, at the time, they were living in a trailer park, and he was at a friend of his who lived several trailers down. He said it was a one-lane trailer park. He said this was at the dead end. He said there was not frequent traffic down here. So nobody's just walking up here that doesn't live here. He said his buddy's mom was back at his house with my grandparents playing cards. He has 2 older brothers, my father and my other uncle. They were supposed to be back at the house too, and him and his buddy were playing at this trailer in the backyard by themselves. He said the way that the house was situated, it had a porch on the back of the house that stuck out, and it had enough area, almost like a second story, but enough area to walk around back there. He said they had taken old boards and like a lawnmower and a wagon, and they had kind of made them a fort that they would play with underneath the porch. He said, so it's dark. He said, we're playing under there. Whatever it was, G.I. Joe or, just being boys. He said, we hear somebody walking on top of the porch. And he said, we just assumed it was my buddy's mom, that she had gotten done playing cards with his parents, and that she had just come back. He said, so we walked over out from under the porch to look up on top of the porch to see who it was. He said, so we went up the little hill that the trailer is sitting on. He said, and I could see in the corner of a porch what he described as Mothman. He said it was at least the size of a full-grown man, if not bigger. He said, I could not remember if it had glowing eyes or not. He said, honestly, I did not stick around long enough. He said, but his account was a little different. He said the wings to him looked like moth wings, almost like they were tucked back and flat. He said that it looked like an anthropomorphic animal, just this giant animal. He said it was stood up like a man. He said, but it looked like an animal. The feet looked like an animal. He said that is the scaredest he has ever been in his life up to this day as a 50-year-old man. This is probably in the late 70s, early 80s.
Was this daytime?
This was
event?
This was dusk. This was
at dusk.
This
Okay.
was he said it was.
So he had a clear line of sight. We weren't just looking at a dark.
Well, he said, but he also said that there was a street light. The one street light was right on the corner. He said, so he could see. He said, so he grabbed his buddy's hand. He said his buddy didn't see it because he was coming out from the porch. He said, I had come out of the porch and turned around and looked and seen this thing. He said, I grabbed my buddy's hand. He said, and we ran to his house, to his trailer. He said, when I got in the door, my parents, his mom, who was a single mom, and both of his brothers were in the trailer. Nobody was down there at the trailer. Nobody
wow.
that wasn't supposed to be, or because he thought somebody was playing a trick on him. He said, now if somebody was playing a trick on us, he said, A, that was the most realistic suit he had ever seen. He said, B, because I asked him, I said, well, what do you think it was? The old Wes Germer thing. What do you think it was? What do you think it is?
Yeah.
And he said, I have no idea. But what I do know, he said, the question that I always ask myself is that who would come prank some third graders at a dead end street at the last trailer on the street that you don't even know were there? Who would come prank us?
Yeah.
The only people that might have pranked us, his 2 older brothers, were back at the house when they ran straight to the house. So what was it? And so he said, I have no answer. And he said, but I know what I saw. And again, he is not one for exaggerations. He is
It's factual.
He's a factual, straight edge science guy, and very intelligent, extremely intelligent guy. I mean, he's got degrees. He's very well off. He's a very smart guy. Again, somebody that, this isn't, your moonshine uncle. This is the straight edge guy. And he's like, I have no idea, but he said, I do know that is the scaredest I've ever been in my life up to this day.
Now I missed. So did his buddy also see it, or he just did not see it? He pulled him away.
He grabbed his buddy's hand and ran away. He said, because I thought we were going to die.
Yeah.
He said, I was that scared. He said, once I saw it, and that's why, like I asked him, I said, well, what about, did it have, glowing red eyes? And he was like, I didn't stick around long enough to see.
Did he just see it standing there? Did he see it like fly off? Or
he said he just saw it standing there, and they didn't go back down to the trailer. But
I'd have burned the trailer.
Oh, yeah. Well, we talked about that. We talking about that. He said that trailer park is no longer there. They bulldozed it.
So a running thing that I
Interesting.
see here is that, you know, after an encounter with the Mothman, there's some kind of catastrophic thing, you know, I mean, and almost what it seems like, you know?
Yeah. Which now I had asked him, I said, did anybody else see it? He said, I didn't tell anybody about it for years. He
Right,
said,
right.
when I did start talking about it, he said, I found out there were a lot of other people in that area that had seen it.
Mm,
Oh, good grief.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he said, now it had been years.
Sure.
And again, he was a kid. So, I mean, he said it wasn't until he had read other accounts, probably like
Yeah,
the
probably this
Mothman
one.
prophecy and that sort of thing. It wasn't until he read other accounts that he even knew, because he thought he was crazy.
Yeah,
Until he realized, he said, and then we started talking about, other people in the area had seen it too.
See, and that goes back to what we always say. Everybody's got a story.
Everybody has a story.
Everybody likes to, well, you got pranked or something. And look, some of this, we don't know what it is. But when you get to talking about things like this, there's always somebody in the group like, well, now that you mention it, something weird happened to me too. So I've heard, and again, this is obviously from somebody who this is a non-Christian perspective. I believe it was, hang on. The author, his name escapes me, of the Mothman prophecies. So he, again, this is this weird mix of fact and fiction, and he was talking more like about Ingrid Cole and that story. He believed that Mothman or Ingrid Cole or whatever, some of these UFOs, it could be an extraterrestrial, which what we would call an alien, which I personally do not believe in. Or he said he invented a term called the ultra-terrestrial, which means that it's something or somebody from Earth, but does not live in this dimension. And I'm like, buddy, you're a little closer than you think. So
I'm about to say, that sounds like a terrestrial that has more scrubbing power this time or something like that.
Right.
well,
Ultra Clorox.
Sorry. You like your Michelobs. How about Michelob Ultra?
all this folklore around the world of something appearing before a disaster in the Middle East is called a jinn. There's different. Some people say, well, that's in your culture, that'd be an angel. I want to address that. Again, as a Christian, I took issue with that. Guys, what do we always say? What are the qualifications for an angel? There will be no, I think that might have been an angel. If an angel appears to you to give you a warning, first of all, he's going to say, I'm an angel from the Lord. Do not be afraid. He's going to make that up for, it's going to be.
He's going to give you his credentials.
Yeah.
Now, again,
Introduction.
now I'm not going to get into the stories about, and they're out there. Well, somebody pulled me from the burning car, and then there was no one there. That very well may have been an angel. I don't know. But as far as them, some people have said, okay, like the case
revealing something to you.
Okay, exactly. That's what we warn about. Okay, like in 1970, the miners were like, well, it warned us because if we hadn't been scared of the shrieker, we would have went back in the mine and it would have collapsed on us. Guys, if an angel is not going to appear as a giant man-bat moth thing.
There's a lot of other cooler things.
A lot cooler things to appear.
Cooler things to pick, you know?
And again, what do we all say? Again, Scripture backs this up. It clearly tells us that an angel will, hey, I'm an angel. I'm from God.
Identify it.
Don't be afraid.
Dude, if I was an angel, I'd appear in the form of Ronnie Coleman. Like peak Ronnie Coleman. Yeah, buddy! Angel of the Lord in the house!
Like again, we're gonna get in trouble. Like the Freedom Tunes. At the end, the guardian angel.
Say your prayers.
Subscribe to Hollow! Anyway, but, so guys, again, I know people going, oh, there goes Turner again. He's preaching again. I hate to say
Well, you the one listening, so.
You can turn us off.
some of the, again, to me, it sounds demonic. It sounds like it sounds very much demonic. It sounds dark and oppressive spirit. It's, generational sin of an area, whether it be, the battles, the mass graves. It just seems like
betrayal.
The betrayal.
The Bible is very big on not holding your word. Like, that is a big deal.
Now, again, do I think Chief Cornstalk cursed the land and it had some validity to it? No, I don't.
Mm.
But the betrayal of him and the generational sin, yes, that does carry weight.
I look at, like the story from your uncle. I mean, when you see something like that, and that's what the enemy tries to do. He tries to deal in confusion and throwing you off, and then you get an experience like that, and you ask him, well, what did you see? I don't know what I saw. That's confusion.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Well, like we talked about with the Bigfoot episode of some of these guys hold on to this and become obsessed with it. And therefore, and when you're obsessed with something, guys, you're worshiping it because what takes your time, money, and energy? That's what you worship.
Yep.
And if you are like, hey, I've got to figure this Bigfoot thing out. I've got to figure this Mothman thing out. So I think we can definitely talk about it, but you should never become obsessed with it.
No, and
I think it's demonic. Can I tell you my first show note that I wrote?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So, and just to cite our sources, there's a great YouTube channel out there called the Y Files. And we watched a Mothman episode and it has, a lot of great information.
First time I ever heard the story.
Yeah. Yeah. So he has a lot of good information and he's pretty funny too. I watched that video as kind of like prep for this. Point 1, what the actual heck? Sub point A, I want to go home and wrap myself in a big fluffy blanket and never go outside again. That would be my first two thoughts.
That's your first two thoughts. Okay, well, go ahead.
And then sub point B, this is scarier than Bigfoot. A, it's airborne, cryptid Air Force. 2, I mean, let's be honest. What makes the U.S. military the most scary thing in the world? It's not the Marines. It's not the Army. It's the Air Force. We all make fun of them. But you don't know what's going on, and they dropped a 12-foot sword on you. And you never saw it coming.
So, Cryptid Air Force.
Cryptid Air Force is terrifying. The video from Chicago is horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with
and
that.
nobody has an explanation for it.
Nobody has an explanation. That is scarier to me than Bigfoot because I can at least rationalize, like, okay, big scary ape, we just haven't found him yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with big, giant flying dragon.
Does have a hint of dragon to it.
But from that video, biologically, I don't know what to compare this to besides either a giant bat or like a classical literal dragon.
See, that's a good point too. And we're about to get just bear with me, guys. In a lot of Asian countries, particularly all over the world, the dragon, and you hear it referenced in scripture.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon is associated with Satan. It's always associated with being worshipped. In all these other cultures, the dragon wants to be worshipped. It's really, in a lot of ways, a satanic symbol. Now, there are some people, I'm not of this mindset. Anyway, there are some people that even postulate that when the Bible says serpent, it actually is referring to a dragon. I'm not one of those people, but that has been theorized.
I don't like either one. But I mean,
oh no, either one, snakes or dragons. I'm not.
I like some snakes, but not all snakes. But like, well, in medieval times,
I like dead snakes.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, in medieval times, you had, why do you have these St. George and all these guys going to fight dragons?
Yeah, written accounts of interactions with dragons.
It's weird.
It's because they are, and also we forget. We like to say, oh, well, maybe that was dinosaurs. Maybe it was. I don't know. But also, like you said, it's a representation of evil.
Mm-hmm.
This is during the time of the spread of Christendom. So what should you do as a knight of Christ? Go fight dragons. Now you can take that metaphorically. It might be literal too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't get off in the weeds. That's another one we didn't talk about on the Bigfoot episode. The whole story of Beowulf.
Oh, yeah.
That's a whole nother.
Beowulf has a Grendel and a dragon at the end.
Really?
Grendel's like a straight up great early account, in my opinion, of what could be a Bigfoot.
Sounds a lot like it's. What is he? He's a big hairy monster that walks on two legs and eats people. Where have we heard this before? Again, there has been some. Again, Y-Files did a great job of like trying to because that's his shtick. He tries to debunk things, even though he's really into the weird and paranormal. A lot of toxic waste got dumped in the West Virginia area around this time. Could a bird or something mutated? I don't know. It was interesting he brought up that Recently at the time of this recording, did you see the big
There's a big fungus.
the fungus?
There's a fungus that is
Mhm.
living off of radiation
literally in the
in
remains
Chernobyl.
of Chernobyl.
It's never been seen. They've never biologically recorded this. It is completely new, and it is feeding off radiation.
Sounds like
The
I knew-
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
That's real cool. They can stay in Chernobyl.
Well, there's some
And cancel
again,
vacation to Chernobyl.
and it's interesting.
You're gonna be radioactive somewhere else.
It's interesting to that end, though, because there's the wild dogs of Chernobyl. There are dogs there that their DNA has been influenced by radiation, and they're not like other dogs on the rest of the planet, and they're thriving. You know, everything. That's the thing. Which
It's like Jurassic Park.
Life
Life
finds a way.
finds a way.
life finds a way, and you know that's a good point. Of radiation is supposed to be the be all end all, and it certainly can be. Nothing's supposed to be living there. How's this stuff not only living there but thriving there?
There was a great, I don't remember what it was, but it was my my biology professor had us read an article from the 70s when they were worried about deforestation. And this guy was interesting because he was actually saying the opposite. He was saying, look, I'm not saying deforestation is a good thing. We do need to be careful. Need to be more careful than they were being in the 70s, just cutting it,
Absolutely.
clear cutting everything. He said, we do need to be careful. But the point of his article that he wrote or journal that he wrote, was if I remember right, the title is "The World is Green," and his point was, I don't care what you do, you won't be able to kill it all. Now that's not an excuse to be irresponsible,
Exactly. That is a good point, though.
So I'm not going full, PETA hug the world stuff of we should worship the world and do everything and we can, but also you're not going to kill it all. I got news for you.
No.
But that being said, I don't know what, but you were talking about the dogs and the DNA. Yes, they're changing, but for that kind of a spill to happen, because wasn't it an ammunition factory in that area that they started storing nuclear waste at, or they had byproduct?
Yeah, I believe so.
Where do you get such a change to go from a bat, a regular bird, or whatever to get this big?
Oh, that's a whole. See, I don't put a lot of. Again, I want
And to have the influence of a male body to be the size of a man and be
Yeah.
on legs,
It's-
why would that be the direction?
See, and again, I wanted to talk about it because it's interesting. I don't think that checks out. I don't think that's what it is. And also, let's debunk it right now. There's no known nuclear spill or toxic waste in Freiburg, Germany, near the Twin Towers, in Minneapolis or Chicago.
Mhm.
So where did said mutation come from? I've heard another theory. Well, the sandhill cranes were migrating, which people in panic, they have a red marking on their face. They're a big bird. They can be a really big bird. Massive. But again, we have it's possible. I'm trying to think. Someone will have to correct me on the range of the sandhill crane. I know for a fact in some parts of the United States they don't have them. They don't have them in Freiburg, Germany, or at Chernobyl.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
Right.
There
yeah.
probably ain't none flying in downtown, New York City.
You're
You know
talking
what I'm
about a busy place like that. They're not going to be flying for that.
That to me, that don't really check out either, and it most certainly doesn't check out of why is there sandhill crane standing on the back porch in Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, it goes all around the northern U.S. from Canada down to southern U.S. and Mexico. The sandhill.
So
crane
it does
thing.
have a big range,
It has a large range,
but not
But-
Freiburg, Germany.
but not.
He ain't
Freiburg,
stopping in their
Germany.
trailer park in the middle of Kentucky, brother. You're going to get shot.
Yeah, exactly.
They are known for
But
you
also-
outdoorsmen. They are known as the ribeye of the sky. Just so you know.
Seen
But
some
it's
down in
not.
Orlando the other week hanging out behind the hotel. Thought about wringing their necks and seeing about it.
Thank you.
Decided against it, but it was
Thank
a
you.
thought at one time.
Send that email to Will Howard.
But they are also not big black with bat wings.
That's fair enough.
That's the other thing is that we're talking about all the body that everybody's talking about is this big black creature. And even if it does have the red marking, sure, but not glowing.
Not glowing. And to that end, too, whatever that video is at Chicago,
That ain't no crane.
that ain't no sandhill crane. I'm just here to tell you.
And I just had to, because I was just curious, because I was like, I'm not sure, so we're going to look it up. I had to Google the largest bat among us.
Ooh, tell us, redneck Forrest Galante.
The giant golden-crowned flying fox, Acerodon jubatus,
I did know that.
is the largest species in the world. It is found in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long way away.
That's a long way from West Virginia.
And even at that, it can have a wingspan up to about 5.5 feet. That's big.
That's still a scary freaking bat.
That's giant compared to a Filipino.
Oh my!
That is insane. That is a threat. If you're a Filipino.
threat.
Carried away.
All right, I want to see Manny Pacquiao fight a flying fox.
But even that's not 10 feet.
No, that's
and
not 10 or that's not 12 feet.
I get it. People are like, well, you exaggerate things when you're scared.
Absolutely.
I understand that. But this is a lot of exaggeration. It's kind of the Bigfoot phenomenon.
Okay, and then what do you do about the disasters?
The disasters. Okay, I have that written down too.
Let's hear it.
I have some questions. Not necessarily answers, just more questions.
Ooh.
Is tragedy a correlation or causation? So is this just happening? Or is it the Mothman is causing this? Or is he, and in that subcategory of causation, so, correlation is, hey, this is happening.
Yeah, correlation can happen independently from
Correct.
causation.
It can. But the causation, is this the bat causing it, or is he an omen? Is he a warning, or is he causing this? And I would put that in the good versus evil category. An omen, like the miner said, would be something good, saying that, hey, he's warning you, be aware it's coming.
Well, there's such thing as a bad omen, though.
There is. But even an omen, would be a bad omen, a bad thing happening, but he is he's a representation of it happening.
Yeah, you're right.
But a causation to me would be evil. Is this a warning of like, hey, I'm bringing this?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to do with that.
I don't think.
But that doesn't negate that it's not spiritual.
Yeah.
No.
And it's also only caught in picture. I mean, like you're saying, you've got pictures and video.
Else.
Yeah, this is not something people they are physically seeing it sometimes, but like in a lot of the bad things that you reference, it was in pictures and video.
See, and that goes right along with the haunted house and some of that. Sometimes,
Taking
ghosts,
a picture and
there's
not
something there.
saying- Yeah.
We got to have Jacob on.
Well, Jacob, a buddy of ours, has some. Ooh, boy.
Yeah. There's on top of what we talked about off air, on top of his Bigfoot encounter and Goatman encounter, he also has he showed us the picture of something in a haunted house. It's
Yeah.
I won't know part of it, but anyway,
stay tuned, folks.
Stay tuned and stay away.
Yeah,
exactly.
Stay
I
away.
also have make the argument like we kind of did with Bigfoot. Could this be a biological critter? Nocturnal fits, especially with bats.
Yeah.
You see them at dusk. You don't see a lot of daytime activity.
Right.
Barn owls. Barn owls are, most owls and species are nocturnal. That kind of fits if we're talking about a large, squished face creature, flat faced, big eyes.
I would say if you're going to be the ultimate skeptic and force this pig into a hole, barn owl fits the silhouette the best.
Barn owl, or
granted, I don't know that barn owls get to be 12 feet wide, but
also bat wings is very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Bat wings don't look like anything else.
They're not
Yes,
feathers,
yeah.
they're fleshy.
Right.
So, but if we're talking about such a large mammal or bird, again, the skeptic, you can go take it both ways. Why don't we find bodies of Bigfoot? We have all been in the woods and found deer skull or, some type of little critter skull, possum, raccoon. There's evidence if you look hard enough. It may not be a ton of it. You don't see every one that dies.
Yeah.
But you will find carcasses, and no Bigfoot carcasses, no Mothman carcasses. That being said,
Hollow Earth.
well, there's Hollow Earth. But bird skeletons are hard to fossilize.
Bird, yeah. See, to that end of the dragon thing, it was a big clip. It went around on Rogan and everything. I forgot who was talking about it. We now believe that there could have been a scientists believe there could have been a giant flying lizard, i.e., dragon, that had hollow bones.
Yeah.
Which it would have had to have had hollow bones to be able to be that big and fly.
Yeah.
And it stands to reason things that have hollow bones, they deteriorate. They don't fossilize.
Not very well.
Not very well,
Yeah.
anyway.
I mean, what do we have? The Thunderbird from the Native Americans.
Oh, that's a whole nother
Oh,
episode
my
in
God.
itself.
Which, is more pterodactyl looking.
Yeah.
But still, we're talking about this large flying creature that supposedly has stayed around a lot longer past megafauna that we're used to seeing. And there's no other evidence of roosting. I mean, even here in South Mississippi, I've seen bald eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen them, around this area.
Mhm.
You can go to the Delta and see nests. The nest of a bald eagle is amazing. You're talking 6 to 8 feet up in the top of a big old pine tree.
Yeah.
You've got other evidence, and there's no other evidence of this thing.
It leans toward the supernatural.
God is bigger than the boogeyman.
He's bigger than Godzilla or the monsters on TV. Boom, boom, boom. Put the thing back where it came from and cut. It's a work in progress.
I have some questions for the panel.
Ooh.
All right. Question number 1, just after talking about all this, and I want to hear everybody's answer. Is there any possibility of this being a physical creature?
Yeah, yeah. If we want to talk about, weaving in and out of realms, the physicality is like, say for instance, with Dogman, people claim they have shot it and they have hit something.
Yeah.
It still behaves as if it was never shot or never hit, but they physically see something. It physically leaves footprints, claw marks, so on and so forth.
But is that something spiritual interacting with the physical world?
Yes, that's what I'm going.
That's
with.
what you're going
That's
at.
what I'm laying it on.
Okay. Chris,
is it possible it's a physical creature?
In my mind, I don't think it's physical. I think it is strictly spiritual. I think we're looking at when you see something like that, you're looking at something that is manifesting itself in a way to cause fear, to cause destruction, to cause chaos.
Yeah,
and I say that from an experience maybe we'll get to in my life one day. I've got some stories and they're terrifying. But anyway, I say that from an aspect of that. I do believe that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
I'm not trying to get scriptural or spiritual with it. But I do think it's a form of spiritual warfare. So I'm gonna go against that. I think that this is something a little more in depth, playing with your mind, than it is an actual physical item.
See, and
great answer.
I think that's probably more spot on along the lines with Chris, because I thought about it. None of these accounts, was anybody harmed? Was there anything physically damaged during the account?
Not during the account, just the disaster afterwards.
I got a question on that too. So,
all right, so I draft with Chris on this. I just maybe 100 years ago, and now I don't.
Now,
Yeah. There's okay. Be careful how I say this. I don't want to get into another discussion. In light of some recent events that have happened, you realize just how many cameras there are in the world.
Yes.
Ooh.
And how quickly internet sleuths can pick up things. I don't see it. Like, if there was a 12-foot bat flying over Chicago,
that's hard to hide.
That's hard to hide.
That's what I'm saying. So
something. Yeah, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I go as far as to say this. Do I believe it's something that these people may have actually saw? Yes.
Absolutely.
It may be something they saw. Do I think that they would be able to find it ever
Correct.
again on this earth? Probably not.
See,
because I think it is spiritual.
Yes.
You know?
I agree with that.
I haven't seen the airport video, but is that the only one? Is it just at the airport? Do they have videos of other locations
I think
beyond the airport?
the only video that I've seen is
Yep.
the one from the
Just that one.
That's
airport,
crazy.
but
So
they
it's
have pictures of it other places.
There's pictures other places.
It's
But
weird.
again, we're talking about pictures back from 1967.
It could have just been terrible photography. No. Probably not. Who
I don't
knows?
know.
But anyway,
It might have been an actual moth. It was just a lot closer.
Yeah, you just been a moth on the lens, right?
Like when you're taking a picture of a bass you just caught. You just hold it
It's the
out.
moth, right? It's the moth. It's the moth, and I'm the man.
I mean,
All right, question 2. All right, so if not, which we all agree that it's not a physical being, is this spiritual good or spiritual evil?
oh, that one's easy. Go ahead, Will.
Evil.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I don't think it's bringing anything positive.
I agree.
Well,
Because
I
think to your take of, look, angels that are interacting with you in the physical realm, if they're going to talk to you, they're going to announce themselves and they're going to tell you who they are, and they're also going to tell you not to worship them.
Yeah, do not worship us, and they will not tell you anything to strike fear or contradict
That's what I was
anything
about
in
to say.
Scripture.
They're not standing there causing intimidation.
Which this thing is.
This thing is standing here causing fear.
To that end, the enemy's MO is always chaos and confusion. It's always.
He's the author of confusion.
He is the author of confusion.
Yeah.
So, and there's some people out there that do paranormal, I ain't gonna name their names, that do these kind of stories, and they've postulated the idea of, well, God created everything, but maybe he delegated something to this. Maybe these other spiritual entities. And let me stop you right there. There is the Holy Trinity. There is God the Father, the Holy Spirit, and Jesus Christ. There are angels. There's Lucifer himself, Satan, and the third of the angels, which are now demons, that fell with him. That's it that we know of. There's the only other reference that we have to go on is whatever the heck the Nephilim are.
Yeah.
Not going to open that today. So whenever we get into these legends and folklore of, well, is this the Fae, or, the fairies, or is it these? Are there these other?
Are there like neutral parties?
Are there's neutral parties? Are there little g gods too? But God is no. There's it's so to me it's very simple. If we think it's a spiritual entity and it's not an angel, it's very clearly that. Then it can't. It has to be evil. There's really no other option, in my opinion. Again, if you follow a biblical worldview,
Right.
I mean,
which is the correct worldview.
It is. Yeah. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. You can be wrong if you want.
People are wrong.
We're not
every day.
stopping you from being wrong. We're just telling you what's right.
So yeah, and again, what is the fruit? And you say, well, how do you determine that? What fruit is it bearing? Well, it's caused panic and chaos and confusion. Does that sound like Jesus, or does that sound like the devil?
Doesn't sound like good fruit to me.
Doesn't sound like good fruit to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
So for a little bit of levity, and again,
of course,
we were driving down here because I live a little bit farther away than the other guys, and my wife, I was dictating these. She's wonderful. I love you. I was dictating this, and she gave me a very disappointed look when I wrote this question down. What would Mothman order? A footlong from Subway or a Caniac combo from Cane's?
oh, Caniac, bro.
Man, I'm telling you, I'd have a Caniac combo with Mothman in a heartbeat.
Mothman loves Sam Sulek too. He get that Caniac special.
Lots of protein. I mean, you could get double meat on a good Subway sub.
He can.
But is there, in the year 2025, in the state that we live in, is there such thing as a good Subway?
No.
Not anymore.
That's why I think Mothman would get it, because he's a degenerate.
He would like the wilty brown lettuce.
Exactly.
Eat it up, son.
The soggy, rubbery turkey and the wilted lettuce.
Italian herb and cheese.
Caniacs are from the Lord.
Hey, I'm calling you out, Subway. Or maybe it's just the Subways in Mississippi. Y'all are straight trash.
Do better.
Ain't nobody eating fresh anymore.
You don't
Nobody
got,
eats for
you don't got no place in a gas station.
Hey, you want a full blown case of food poisoning, colon cleanse? Eat at a Subway at a Circle K.
I'll tell you this: at a gas station, I will go get the little hot dog that's been on there for 16 hours before I go get Subway.
Yeah, yes.
Or the churro. Ooh, gas station churros.
I mean, it's just fake meat. I mean, it can't hurt you. You know, that wilted lettuce over in that soggy bottom. It's got E. coli and botulism and everything else on it. Oh, good gracious! That's a good way to end the podcast. Well, guys, let us know in the comments what you would like to cover next as far as a spooky story. We're going to do a couple more of these. We may do a Weird Things in Mississippi podcast on an upcoming episode because that's where we're based out of. But again, I'm Turner. I'm here with Chris, Will, and Bailey. Thank you so much for listening. This has been the Lost in Stupidity podcast.